Okay. Alright, in this video I'm going to give a little bit of a some background information. Boy, it takes a lot to do a series, especially with so much background information. But anyway, this is about the virtual county, VC, that's in this Victorson County. These are hypothetical fictional situations. The whole series, everything about it is fiction, except for things like, of course, it's located in Texas, and Texas exists. Victorson County and all of that does not. It's fiction. Okay, anyway, in this series, there is a town that is called Hippie Town. Okay, and it got its name because it was where there was a commune. And it came from some university students who were from really wealthy families, and their families, they wanted it. Their families always give them what they want, and they made this town originally. And as the years went by, of course, it developed, and it basically became a town of many people, not all, of course, not all, but many people who were, they came from the hippies. They were very into like polyamorous relationships. And then as that got more known, people who were in other kind of poly relationships moved there. Not very vocal about it, but they did. Okay, like polygamist and so forth. But they didn't advertise it. Okay, anyway, now the hippies, they understood. They grew up there. They knew what was going on. They knew it was different. And basically, whenever the elders that basically run the county were split up, the elders that were in the hippie town, they wanted to also have their own that ran, because they felt they could, they knew their town, they knew their people, they knew what needed to be done. They wanted their own also, to have their own group they were split up because of what was going on, and they were put basically seclusion, and they wanted that too, to have their own, and it wound up that way. Now what they also wanted was their own section. Whenever they opened up a section that allowed people from a town that's actually called the Outlaws, and that's where the outlaws and the outcasts lived, and they're not all bad people, but many of them are. Well, they finally were allowed to get on Virtual County, the county's social media platform for just the county. They finally were able to get on, and there's a whole videos about that. But the hippies, the elders, the hippies elders, they wanted some part of Virtual County for themselves, for their issues, and for their people who advertise. And they advertise and do their forums and their videos and whatever they put up to be for people who know or who are from that town, and they have those kinds of thoughts. Well, in the long run, they wound up actually getting it, because one of them, she doesn't live in Hippie Town. She grew up in however, but she put up some questions. She's like in her early to mid 30s. She put up some questions on a board about poly relationships. And that's when the elders overall said, yeah, we need to give them their own area. And they were happy with it. They said they did a deal, and they said, yeah, that's fine. And that's what they wanted. Now, it's going to be run by a lot of people, but they're going to allow them to have, their own relationships forum, their own place where they put ads and all that. It's going to be, as the other ones are, for adults only, and anybody who gets on there has to actually go into any local grocery store in the county, show their ID, picture ID, address, all that, and sign contract, with all the terms of service and conduct and all that stuff. So they're real, no fake accounts. It got rid of a lot of them when they decided to do that. A lot of fake accounts. Anyway, adults only. And anybody that's coming, that wants to go onto that section and start doing trolls, they're kicked off. They're out. They're off of Virtual County forever. that they don't allow trolls. They don't allow people to come in and just bash people, hate on people. No. And that's why they had them. You had to actually show up at the grocery store, to their customer service, to their where it is, and show that ID. Okay. And everybody uses pseudonyms, but they know who owns that account. Okay, and they pay a monthly fee. They know who it is. Like I said, got rid of a lot of fake accounts. People who were trolling. Yeah, that's a good way to get rid of fake accounts. When they have to actually show. Anyway, so anybody who trolls gets kicked off of virtual county. They call it VC forever. That's it. No more. And like I said, they use the screen names. I'm reading from my notes. And there's a section that's run by hippie counselors mainly, but also by the hippie elders, the hippies. Okay, now just name these just did this today, and today is October 18th, 2021. And I just made up these cast of characters in this whole thing. One of the female counselors, her name is Autumn, Autumn, and the male is Jade, Jade. And then there's also writers, which comes up later on. The male writer is Forrest, and the female writer is Harmony. And they start their own, like I said, relationship drama. Well, the writers, and the counselors together, they start their own relationship drama story series on VC. And like the other ones have it on the radio, but since they haven't gotten that yet, but they do have it on virtual county, so they started up there. And these are about poly relationships. This is called POLY relationships, and others too. But they have people like this where they can go and listen to a story. And on VC, they can put videos, and when they're listening to them, and like I said, it's exactly what they wanted. They wanted their own place on some form, whether it's social media, whether it's radio, where people who have questions or people who have answers, people who have views about poly relationships and all the good and the bad and the ugly and all that. They have a forum. They have forums. They have their part of the account. The website, the platform. They have a voice. Okay, their voices can be heard through. And then this goes back early 2020 kind of thing. Anyway, that's enough for this one for now. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.